Well, it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. It's coming up in just a couple of days, but I want to dedicate this one to our grandmothers, our elders, great-grandmothers. The times they had. They didn't have no modern conveniences, so I want to dedicate this video to them. Now, a lot of them lived on farms out in the countryside, in these mountains, these valleys, big farms, big families. But they didn't have the modern convenience. It didn't matter. Some lived in mining camps, out in these little towns, out in these little communities across the country. Houses like this. Now, these people of Appalachia, they live hard. And we don't want to forget their struggles and their past. And they had big families. Here's a family of 14 kids. That's just the way it was. They had big families, especially on these farms. And I know they had a lot of grandkids. But they didn't have the modern conveniences we did today. They didn't even have no indoor bathroom. This is the bathroom they used in the day, back in these mountains, and still do. And they didn't have no indoor plumbing too, most of them didn't. Packed that water a long ways to the house. And they had little kitchens like this. Our grandmother, great-grandmother, little simple kitchens like this. No modern convenience. No electricity. Cooked on stoves like this, little wood stoves, coal stoves. They would even heat the houses with. And they didn't have natural gas, propane, none of that stuff, electricity in some places. They packed the coal and wood into the house. Hard work when a man ain't home. And they didn't have no modern grocery stores either. They raised their own livestock, made their own meals. And they started many a stove like this, fixing a family meal, no complaints, the way it was. But you couldn't ask for a better meal of gravy and biscuits on old Grandma's stove. Man. If you don't know what you're missing, you've never had nothing like this. And they fed this family. It's all they could do. They put food on the table. And they just took it for granted. The kids did. But Mom worked hard. Here you can see Mom usually with a big family. They was the last to eat, trying to serve the family. Family always come first to them. And they took care of these babies. They raised them. They made sure they had something to eat. They never went to bed hungry if they could help it. And they tried to pass on to their grandkids how things was, how to do things, learn little things. You don't pay attention till you get older. And here's how they used to wash all these kids. An old wash tub on the porch. Take turns. But they tried to keep them clean. And when it come to wash day, a lot of them didn't have these modern conveniences to weigh up. They washed them by hand. This was hard work. They was lucky they had an old Ringer washing machine. Lucky. I can remember these little things when I was a little old bitty thing. Most of the time, they just get down and rub their fingers raw, trying to wash the family clothes. But they knowed it needed to be done and never complained about it. And this was the dryer of the day, an old clothesline. They dry these clothes day after day. And they always made sure they had some kind of clothes on their kids' backs. They had to do without themselves. They made sure the kids had something to wear. And a lot of times they would just make them out of flour sacks for the girls' dresses, many a time. And they were so gifted at making quilts. Some of the best quilts in the world come out of these old mountains. These people, these ladies were gifted on making quilts. And they tried to pass this down to the next generation. But like I said, you don't pay much attention to that when you're young till you get older. And bless their hearts, they tried to take care of the elderly that was sick, their parents. They had a hard time. They was busy. But the family come first. But the hardest thing on these women was having these babies at no hospital and something goes wrong. And I know this is so hard on them losing a baby. So hard on them. This is a bad thing for these ladies. But this happened all through these mountains. Now God bless the God-fearing grandmothers and mothers, great-grandmothers, that tried to teach their kids the Bible, who Jesus was. God bless them. We miss them so bad. And I can remember my grandmother standing here talking to me all the time in the kitchen when you're young. Memory. Now these will forever be etched in my mind. The memories of my grandmother, my great-grandmother, and I know they are yours too. So I want to dedicate these to our elderly women that are quickly leaving us. So God bless. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.